name's Tommy Dunne, and I'm the weapons master on HBO Game of Thrones. Everyone tells me it's the coolest job in the world, and I say it's the one with the biggest headache. But no, it's cool. It's mainly down to myself what the look and design is, and the feel of all the weaponry. And again, I never look and never chase up the images that George had in his books, because I didn't want to be persuaded by his feel or his interpretation. I like my feel of it and my interpretation of what it is.
How did you make Beric Dondarrion's flaming sword?
That's a combination of between ourselves and the special effects team, because obviously I made and designed the original one, which is quite a basic sword, nothing fancy about it, the Beric's one. But then obviously the special effects then had to come up with a procedure of lighting it. So they made an internal gas system into a hollow sword, and then we just applied all the crossguards and pommels and handles. So they would make a gas rig, and they would make a basically sword that was impregnated with a lighting liquid that can be lit by flame, so it'll keep light for about half a minute. I think it was simple enough, the physical one that they fought with, but the gas one was a bit intricate to ignite it and to turn it off. But the effects did a very, very good job. Good lads. The Oathkeeper was the tricky one, to making sure that it looked like what it was, and then using jewels like Swarovski crystals. Well, Needle was a nice one, because it was one of those things where obviously she was a very young girl. At that stage, I think Maisie was only like 12, 13, and she was a very petite girl. So we knew that the weapon would have to be of some sort of foil, or that kind of scenario where, being a needle, it was exactly what the name said. It looks like a needle. It's quite a natural, small little sword. And it hadn't changed, for her it hasn't changed at all, as in, obviously she's grown up. Not a lot, but she's grown up. So the sword is kept with her. It's been the same. We've never had to play with it. And she was always very good with it, considering that she fights left-handed, and she is actually right-handed. So they're dangerous enough. At the same time, I mean, our hero ones, for example, would be a pattern weld and would be steel blades. We'd never fight with them, but we'd always have them for the hero feel and the hero look. We always then we'll make an aluminium version of the blade, we'll make a bamboo version, and we'll make a rubber version. So we have all the comparables that will be safe. So anybody who fights will be bamboo on bamboo, will be rubber on rubber, will be aluminium on aluminium, and we never mix and match the different blades. So there's so many different looks and styles that we're into the thousands, absolute, probably 10, 15,000 different types, depending on what the weapon would be. If it was a principal weapon, you'd have a couple of hero ones, you'd have 4 or 5 fighting swords, and then again 6 or 8 safety swords. So we'll make sure that everybody's is safe on set and fight, or if you have to ride horses, that we have rubber scabbards, rubber swords, so everything works well. Some of our actors are very strong, and what happens is that they just keep hammering so hard. They suddenly realise if they had bamboo that they can move faster. And there was some of our training regimes, for example, when we had Pod and Brienne fighting. That's an area where we had to make sure there was a bit of bamboo to try and slow down and take the power away from Brienne, because Gwendolyn is a strong girl and she puts a lot of power into it. So we just had to try and find a way of pulling that power back a little bit. The problem with an aluminium sword, or even a wooden sword, is that you can really hit hard with it onto another sword. But when you're fighting with a bamboo, you'll find that less is more with them, so it actually does slow them down a bit with the power.
I would imagine maybe in the Battle of the Bastards, there's a bamboo sword in there somewhere.
In fairness, there was none in that one. A lot of rubber. There was none in that one. It will be the best season ever, and nothing would surpass this.
I woke my deaf grandmother screaming at the television. So if it's going to be better than that, I'm really excited.
Well, I think you'll wake up a few ancestors this year, or next year when it comes out, if that's only your granny.